Hello, parents and students. This is Miss Makis here, and I am here to outline what our week will look like during October 24th through the 27th this week. So I'm going to share my screen so that you can all see what is on the docket for this week. Okay, so to start us off, we have our goal of the week, like we always have. We have complete one act of random kindness to someone every day this week. Now, this can be as small as picking up someone's trash. It could be as big as standing up for someone when maybe they're not being treated so well. Or it could even look like helping out a fellow teacher. So maybe that means staying back, erasing some whiteboards, or helping pass out some materials to the class. So random act of kindness, we are learning in our Wonder Book with Augie Pullman that every act of kindness matters, and we will continue to live that out in our classroom this week. So be sure to check in with me on Thursday at the end of the week to tell me about some of these acts of kindness that you're doing in and outside of school, and I might have a special treat for y'all. Awesome, moving right along. Now, it is Spirit Week. I know so many of you are excited for Halloween. Now, to celebrate Anti-Bullying Month and Kindness Month with Halloween, we have a bunch of fun spirit days already planned out. So, Monday, it's going to be Mismatch Sock Day. Please bring your craziest socks. I will, of course, be wearing my insane socks that I'm excited to show you. On Tuesday, we have our 80s Day, which I'm so super excited about. I know all of you were not around during the 80s, but please use your parents as reference for that specific day. And then on Wednesday, we have tie-dye day. Please wear your most colorful clothes. I have a little sneak preview of my tie-dye that I'll be wearing. It's my lab coat, and I'm so excited to be wearing that on Wednesday. And then lastly, on Thursday, we have our dress up as a character day. This can be whatever you want. If you want to be 11 from Stranger Things, go for it. If you want to be a video game character, go for it. Maybe some Marvel DC fans love to see it. So please wear your character on Thursday. And just as a reminder, it is not on my screen, but no school on Friday. Please do not come. I will not be here. We have a teacher work day as we will become better teachers for you that day with a professional development. So please stay home. Do not come to school on Friday, the 28th. All right, also moving along after Spirit Week, we have parent-teacher conferences. Now, we had most of them all of last week, but we have 2 more days this week. On Monday and Tuesday, we will have our last days of conferences. School ends at 1 p.m., so make sure, parents, that you have a plan in place to pick up your students a little bit earlier from school on Monday and Tuesday. I will also be dojoing you reminders for if your conference is on Monday or Tuesday. So thanks for looking out for that from me. Also, sadly, our book fair will be ending this week on Tuesday. If you want to get a book, please stop by the book fair in our library before or after school. This year, we are not going as a class, so please make sure your students or you are going before or after school to make sure you can be a part of that. And then for our lunch monitors this week, which is an amazing responsibility that we get to take part in and get to help out our school in, is my Tiger Shark group. So if you are a Tiger Shark, you are going to be leaving our classroom for an hour on Tuesday to help make sure that lunch runs smoothly for our lower grades this week. So please wear closed-toed shoes on Tuesday, my Tiger Shark group. And lastly, we have a new announcement that I'm excited to share with you all. So our last bullet point here, it's called differentiation. Now, it's a big, long word, but it's something that I'm excited to share with you about. So differentiation in the classroom, parents, is how I, as a teacher, can target the needs of your specific student. So we take into account your student readiness level for ELA and math. We take into account their interests, and we kind of outline with the data that we have what your student needs in order to learn the best. So we are going to be implementing differentiation strategies into our classroom to better serve your students, which I'm so excited about. Now, this, like I said, takes into a lot of different things, takes into account a lot of different things. We will be looking at data from past tests. We'll be looking into student hobbies and interests, and also student preferred learning styles. Now, not all students learn the same. We are all so super different, and that is something to be celebrated. But that also means that as a teacher, I need to be reaching everyone for specifically where and what they learn best through. So I will be differentiating in multiple ways. We will start off with trying to get to know students a little bit more with student task cards, learning from them what ways and what subjects they learn best in school. And our students can really tell us how we can lay out the groundwork for creating strategies in our classroom that will create better learning for them, which is super, super cool. Okay, moving right along. So that is what differentiation is. It's different activities and accommodations that we give to our classroom to meet student needs. And then moving down, what will this look like in our classroom? So I will be implementing 3 different differentiation strategies that I will use to ensure that students are learning to the best of their ability. So that first one that I will be using will be to teach students how to rearrange the classroom. Now, that might sound small, but it's very important to make sure that our transitions are smooth and that we aren't wasting important time on just moving things around, talking while moving, and ensuring that we get to our next activity quickly. So I will be laying out for them different floor plans of how we're going to move desks, who's going to move what desks, and where our chairs will go during different activities. The 2 activities we will be setting up the classroom for are our entire class reading. Like as we read Wonder, I like students to be on the ground so that they're all focused on me as the reader and the story that's happening, and not fiddling with things in their desks. So that's why I like to move desks around and have them in the middle of our classroom. Another way we will be moving our seats is using our different stations when we do rotations for learning. Now, I like to make sure the desks are all facing each other when students work in groups so that they can collaborate and learn from one another their problem-solving skills and their strategies they use to explain their thinking for ELA. Now, that was the first differentiation strategy that I'm going to be using. The second one that I'm going to be using is monitoring voice level. Now, this is super important in my classroom because while I love to socialize with students and I love for students to be socializing, we need to make sure that we are being respectful of the speaker and of our peers when they are sharing their work. So within my classroom, I kind of want to lay out the groundwork. We have 4 different voice levels that we use throughout all of school. Voice level 0, which is silence, voice level 1, which is whisper, voice level 2, which is talking, and voice level 3, which is presenting voice, outside voice that students can use. Now, to make sure that students are being able to focus on their task in front of them, I'm going to be assigning different group members in each of my 4 groups to be the voice level kind of monitor or coach for that group. Now, this role will change every month. And this student is going to be able to say to their peers, hey, if we want this free time or if we want this reward, we need to stay at a voice level 0 or a voice level 1 or whatever the voice level is for that activity. So that will be happening, and that is basically to ensure that all students can focus and work in the environment that is presented to them. So if it's too loud, students can get distracted and they won't be able to finish their work to the best of their ability. And it's always encouraging to have different peers telling them what the expectation is, so they don't have to just hear their teacher always saying, hey, you got to get back on task. So that is something that will be happening. Okay, and then that last differentiation strategy that I will be using is creating and delivering very clear instruction. So right now in our classroom, a lot of our learners struggle to remember the instruction that I give after we have a group lesson. So for a specific learning task or a different activity, I normally, after I give a lesson, I normally then review a step-by-step list of what needs to happen next for students to activate that learning. Now, once I give it at the end of the lesson, and I have the steps even on my presenting screen, I do have a handful of students who still struggle to know what's happening next. So to kind of eliminate this confusion and to make sure that I'm meeting student needs and making sure that my instruction is very clear so students can be successful, what I'm going to start doing is giving task cards to students that explain step by step what they should be doing and what order they should be doing it in. So if the task is to write out a paragraph about main idea using text evidence, and that's the main task, the instructions will then say, okay, you need to get out your ELA journal. You then need to write down the title of what we're working on. And then is when you start to go into the success criteria. Okay, you need to make sure you have a hook. You need to introduce your main idea. You need to use text evidence to support that. And then lastly, you have that conclusion sentence. So the success criteria and the instructions will be on this task card, very clearly laid out for the students. So I don't have to just verbally be repeating it to them, and they can maybe lose interest or lose just engagement. And that task card will reinforce them being able to be like, oh, it's on my desk, and I can just pull it up and remember what I'm doing. And that task card will also have early finishers activities or anchor activities. So these are activities that students will do after they finish the main task, and then it'll be what they move on to. So it could be an enriching reading or a grammar writing activity, or it could be a fun math project. So it could be a variety of things. But ultimately, I'm going to have task cards to give out instructions so I don't have to continue to repeat myself, and so students can use them moving forward instead of just having to orally depend on what I say, which will be great for all the variety of learners I have in my classroom. Another way that I am going to give instruction is to make these videos. So I'll be making really short videos giving instructions that students can refer back to on Google Classroom. And this will help them be able to, once again, go back, read them without me having to, in person, in time, repeat instructions. And they can replay them as much as they need and go back to them to find information on what's happening next for them. So this will kind of take away time that I have to keep repeating instruction where other students could be already working on the assignment. So by creating a very individualized way of giving instruction, I will hopefully be maximizing our student learning time. So awesome. Those are my announcements for the week. I am excited to have a fun spirit week with all of you. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday at 7:45. Bye.